Getting set for the start of the race here and another couple of circuits. Now, John Aldridge can be tricky with that green flag, but not this time. One more circuit, and we will bring them to the start of the race. With the number 4 of Rich Fenwick and the number 12 of Mike St. John, increasing the intensity of this starting battle for the lead is that I believe that number 4 car is the same machine that Mike St. John drove to victory in this race 1 year ago. So we're getting set for the start of this one. We'll have another short delay because the Dennis Dameron car has lost power. He will not be able to start this race. He'll be left to watch this one on the north end of the racetrack while the balance of the cars go for full power combat here in a lap or so.
Okay, I got a top 5 of men in the hall.
Ready for the start this next time by. The field starts to pack together with 50 laps of racing ahead of them. They come out of turn number 4. They pick up the pace to the green flag, and the race of the Dome Figure 8 Spectacular is underway. Wheel to wheel, side by side for the lead. St. John in 12 sees the number 4 of Fenwick take the early advantage. In third place is the number 24 of Van Meter. Fourth place to Martin's number 75. Fifth place to the number 56 of Nelson. And sixth place to the number 50 of Herrera as we finish lap number 1. And Fenwick starts to pull away. Third place sees the number 56 of Nelson to the inside and taking the spot away for the number 24 Van Meter. Fenwick, as we run to the second and third lap of this race, has to hold up at the intersection, and that lets the number 12 of St. John get that much closer. St. John has a wall of metal, a blocked intersection. He gets through. St. John has to hit the brakes and loses 3 positions as we finish lap number 2, as Fenwick has the lead. Second place to Nelson in number 56. Nelson looks for room. There are cars all over the place. He almost plows the number 15 of Dwayne Lee, and he has to slow down. But Fenwick continues to dominate with a one-stretch advantage after 3 laps because of the crossover working in his advantage. Second place, 56 Nelson. Third place is the number 24 of Van Meter. Fourth place is St. John in 12. Then 38 Rackley moving around the number 75 of Martin. There's the 21 of Dalton. Remember, Dalton very strong in his heat race. And the leader, Fenwick, already moving into traffic, putting Foster's 41 a lap down. Now the car of Elkins almost got hit at the intersection, and Dwayne Lee spins as he loses control as he had to battle for survival. He's facing the wrong way in traffic, and he got hit hard by the 0-1 of Randy Cronenwet. Cronenwet's car gets back underway, as does Dwayne Lee's car, as Lee is moving smoothly, and Cronenwet drops out of the race. Dwayne Lee continues to run with rear end damage, but Dwayne Lee is now 1 lap down, as Cronenwet is enough out of the way that we can continue to race under green. Leader is the number 4 of Rich Fenwick. Still running in second place, the 56 of Mike Nelson, as Fenwick has to wait up for Charlie Reed's red number 4. Third place is the number 12 of Mike St. John, as Dwayne Lee in the 15 has fallen a lap down. Fourth place, the number 24 machine of Van Meter, and then you've got the number 5 of Amos, who's the first of the drivers to move from that second pack up. And now he almost is in contact with the number 38 of Rackley, as the 4 of Reed again almost got to the leading number 4 of Fenwick and almost flipped the number 39 of Elkins. There's the number 4 of Fenwick coming through the intersection, holding on to the advantage on lap number 8. Nelson in second place, the number 56, looks for room at the intersection, has to hold up and loses spots to the number 12 of St. John, the number 5 of Amos, and the 38 of Rackley, as Nelson loses second place in heavy crossover traffic, as Rich Fenwick is out in front and pulling away. At the intersection, Foster barely survives a slide across a wall of metal, as there's still 3 abreast all the way around the track. Fenwick leads in 4. Mike St. John second in 12 as Lossy and others almost come to grief at the intersection once again. Bumping and jostling sees the 87er turner bumping Foster's machine, almost getting into Scott Martin. And Nelson barely survives a run through the intersection as Fenwick almost gets hit by Bruce Tunney and the number 24 Van Meter. Bruce Tunney is moving up into the top 10. Could have a fast car on the track, but he's got a lot of traffic to fight his way past. Fenwick leads lap number 10. In second place, Mike St. John about a quarter lap back. My Reckoning has the third place belonging to the number 38 of Rackley. Fourth place to the number 5 of Amos Trouble in turn number 3 is the 50 of Herrera. And the number 16 of Robbie Loving get together as Loving is in reverse gear trying to find some place to go. For the moment, we are under a standing yellow watching as the guys try to get through that second turn. But Loving is backing his car all over the racetrack trying to find some place to go like he's looking for a parking spot, but will continue to race under yellow. Again, the racing continues under the yellow flag in America's Figure 8 Challenge. The 4 of Fenwick continues to hold on to the lead. The number 1 of Dawsey finds himself one lap down. The 50 of Herrera is kind of in a precarious position, but again, we'll continue to race under yellow as we try to get this racing. Now let's watch and see if the Herrera car is going to bring out a red, as the flagman does have a red flag in hand, and we will go to a red flag. We'll stop the race because Herrera's number 50 is stopped over in turn number 3 because the 50 car is parked too close to the racing line. We will bring out a red flag and stop the contest. And still, the drivers don't like the idea of stopping for the red flag, and they're wrestling each other until it becomes extremely obvious. When we put together these restarts, we are doing our best to recreate the order in which the cars had been running at the end of the lap before the red flag was displayed. And now it begins the second run for the championship. With the leader, the white number 4 of Fenwick, second place, the number 12 of St. John, and third place, the red number 5 of Amos. Then Bruce Tunney's yellow and white number 41 as we come to the green flag and start the restart. Fenwick, as before, pulls away. There's the number 5 of Amos running in third place, just ahead of Bruce Tunney's number 41. And as those drivers snake through the intersection, Fenwick continues to hold on to his advantage in turn number 3 and 4. But as Fenwick comes out of that corner, he's got a lot of traffic to deal with and just barely gets through the intersection before the crossover traffic begins anew. Mike St. John in second place by my watch is 3.5 seconds back, and he's only a length ahead of the 5 of Amos as the crossover traffic is getting intensely insane already. Now St. John pulls ahead of Amos and goes off in pursuit of Fenwick, and Amos pulls a little further ahead of the Bruce Tunney car as Fenwick has a narrow escape at the intersection. They're 5 abreast at the crossover. That slows up Mike St. John a bit, and the gap's back to 3.8 seconds between first and second place as Fenwick continues to take some big risks at the intersection and is getting away with all of them so far. At the crossover, there's Bruce Tunney side by side with Coles. Dalton slows down for a moment at the number 21. He's between 2 lap cars, the 33 of Doug Gregg and the number 1 of Jack Dawsey Jr. as Elkins drops out of the number 39. Remember, Elkins earlier won a preliminary last chance race. And through all of this, the number 4 of Fenwick appears to be dominating this contest as he did before. Watch out for the 71 of Charles Coles, and the number 1 of Jack Dawsey Jr. slides the car through the intersection, just barely avoiding the Fenwick machine. Gap between first and second place shown as 3.7 seconds. As St. John, watch out, the number 4 Fenwick again almost got nailed to the crossovers. It's 4 wide coming to the east. The number 5 of Amos is falling further behind the number 12 of St. John, and Tunney is not able to catch up with Amos in this incredibly heavy traffic. Gap between first and second place on my watch is now shown at 4.2 seconds as Fenwick gets further and further ahead as St. John continues to run in second place, and Dawsey, the defending national champion, drops out of the number 1, and Robbie Loving almost spins the car going into the third turn, finds himself facing the wrong way, almost pulls in front of Danny Turner and Dwayne Lee and forces those guys to avoid him as Foster spins the other green and black number 41 and just barely gets out of the way of the number 41 at Fenwick. It is getting that intense and insane in this figure 8 madness here at the RCA Dome. About 1/3 of the way through this contest as Brian Greb barely avoids disaster at the intersection, and Bruce Tunney and Dwayne Lee and a whole bunch of guys almost nail each other with a crossover as Rich Fenwick is taking some incredible risks to hold on to his ever-increasing lead. Now it's almost a standstill in the crossover as the leaders just barely are able to cut through, but Fenwick continues to increase his lead. We're working to the 21st lap of this contest, and my stopwatch shows the gap between first and second place at 4.5 seconds as again the leaders almost take each other out. Now the number 4 of Charlie Reed, the red number 4 of Charlie Reed, is in danger of going one lap down to Fenwick. Fenwick is in the heaviest lap traffic he's encountered so far, including 3 quick cars, usually quick cars. Charlie Reed's number 4, the red number 4. Then you've got the number 15 of Dwayne Lee and the number 71 of Coles. They're right ahead of Fenwick, and Fenwick could face a problem if he can't get by these guys. It will allow new life to Mike St. John to catch back up to Fenwick and make a move for the lead. Fenwick noses out in front of Dwayne Lee going into turn number 1 of lap number 22. The gap is starting to shrink. It's down to 3.3 seconds. Fenwick still trying to force his way through traffic. Mike St. John is having his best luck in traffic all the way through this figure 8 race, while Fenwick is in the middle of a big clump of cars and has to also watch for traffic all the way around. Gap is down to 3.2 seconds. Fenwick continuing to run hard. Tries to come to the inside of the number 72 car. And now Fenwick has to slow up as Charlie Reed and a whole bunch of other guys ahead of him have to slow up. And again, that's a benefit to Mike St. John and a disadvantage to the leader, Fenwick, who now sees the lead has dropped down to 2.6 seconds. Working the 24th lap of this race, near halfway. Fenwick has still not put the red number 4 of Charlie Reed a lap down, and Mike St. John is continuing to try to close in, but now St. John is having his own problems with traffic as he comes through turns number 3 and 4. Fenwick hit the marker tire, ran into Foster's number 41. Another way, and Mike St. John was slowed down as the number 21 of Dalton almost got nailed as he slips inside the sliding number 16 of Jay Wayner. At the intersection, the number 5 of Amos almost runs into Robbie Loving, who's directly ahead of the number 4 of Charlie Reed, is right ahead of Fenwick, and now Mike St. John is close to within 3 car lanes. Fenwick's problems in getting through traffic has given Mike St. John new life in this race as we're just past the halfway mark. It had been 2.6 seconds. Now it's 2.6 car lanes coming out of turn number 2 of lap number 27 as Mike St. John has to watch out for Jay Wayner, almost speared him. Mike St. John loses a couple of plates that time, but now he makes them up coming out of turn number 4 as Fenwick holds onto the lead, still unable to put Charlie Reed a lap down. Gap down to 1.2 seconds. Mike St. John tries to go underneath Charles Coles and the number 69 of RJ Norton. And now the advantage goes to Fenwick because he has pulled around most of this traffic, and Mike St. John is still caught in that traffic. Fenwick holds on to the lead, however, as he finishes lap number 26. But St. John is still a couple of lanes behind. He gets sideways trying to go to the outside of Coles. And Fenwick just now is starting to pull a little further ahead. My unofficial gap between first and second place is still a narrow 1.5 seconds. Behind these drivers, in third place, you've got Bruce Tunney in the number 41. Now, Bruce Tunney is in a battle here shortly because closing up on Tunney in the yellow and white number 21, you've got the number 21 of Bobby Dalton and the number 5 of Robert Amos. That's a 3-car fight for third place. And Danny Turner is trying to break into that fight as well, but he's the better part of a third of a lap down. Heavy crossover traffic, 6 cars came through at once. Somehow everybody kept on going. Fenwick still has the lead as we come to lap number 31 of 50 in this figure 8 extravaganza. Fenwick has managed to make it through every time. Mike St. John still in pursuit, 1.5 seconds back. That gap, even though there's some intensely crazy figure 8 racing going on, appears to have stabilized. And Fenwick, through all of this sequence, has not been able to put the red number 4 of Charlie Reed 1 lap down. Coming out of turn number 2 as the cars stack up 4 wide in the intersection. Now Mike St. John has got Fenwick directly in his sights for the first time. Charlie Reed has to slow down in heavy traffic. Fenwick 1 length ahead of Mike St. John coming out of the 4th turn of the 32nd lap of the race. He pulls St. John by length coming out of the 4th turn as they cut between Norton and Ford. St. John stays with Fenwick as Fenwick continues to run directly behind Charlie Reed in the number 4. Reed in the red number 4, almost a 1 lap down car. St. John measures Fenwick for a move, trying for 2 in a row in the RCA Dome Figure 8 Race for America's Figure 8 Challenge. 2/3 of the way through this contest. St. John holds the advantage. Rather, Fenwick holds the advantage. St. John in second place. Watches as Fenwick continues, almost content to follow Charlie Reed. St. John challenges Fenwick at the outside of turns number 3 and 4 off lap number 34. Unable to make the pass. Crossover traffic ahead. Clears just in time for Fenwick and St. John. St. John even with Fenwick at turn number 1. Both cars slide up toward the wall. They hold down under control in turn number 2. St. John watches the heavy traffic, tries to make his move, but now it's Fenwick making his move on Charlie Reed. Reed takes Fenwick high in turn number 3 and 4. Fenwick and Reed bump in that third corner. Fenwick to the inside, racing Reed. Heavy crossover traffic. The leaders just barely avoided as 15 laps left to go. Reed and Fenwick still racing side by side. Again, Reed to the red number 4, almost a lap down. Fenwick leading in 4. St. John tries to pass Reed. He's got inside position on Fenwick. As Fenwick is pushed high by St. John, they bump the marker. St. John comes to first place in turn number 3 of lap 36. But Fenwick bumps back. But St. John has a lead of 2 lengths with 14 laps left to go. And still there is the Charlie Reed factor as nobody's been able to pass Charlie. He's almost a lap down. He's been as fast as everybody else in the race. Now St. John to the lead. Turn number 3, lap number 37 goes high. Fenwick down to the inside, tries to retake the lead. Heavy crossover traffic. Nobody backs down. And St. John leads Fenwick by 2 lengths with 13 laps left to go. Continuing the battle out of turn number 2 as they come out of the second corner. Still following Charlie Reed, and they have to watch out for Bobby Douthit's number 21. Fenwick inside move on St. John, but Fenwick is caught right behind the 95 of Kim Gibson. That will not be the fast line. Fenwick realizes, look at Bruce Tunney in number 41. He comes up to make it a 3-car fight for the lead with 13 laps left to go. It's St. John in 12, Fenwick in 4, Tunney in 41. 3 cars fighting for glory as now they finally get underneath Charlie Reed to put him 1 lap down. But Reed does not give anybody a break as they have to watch for Foster's number 41 as they split around the number 3 car of Kane. St. John shows a bit of smoke coming out of turn number 2 of lap number 40. 10 laps to go. St. John makes the brave move in traffic getting through. Now Fenwick is fighting with Tunney as Tunney tries to go to the inside, blocked by the number 4, the red number 4 of Charlie Reed. And while Reed and Tunney and Fenwick battle each other for position, St. John is starting to get away. 3 are pressed for those drivers racing for second or to stay on the lead lap. But St. John has said goodbye and has left these drivers behind. Now Charlie Reed in some contact with Fenwick, falls behind, and now it's up to the leaders to battle this one out with 9 laps left to go. Now the number 41 of Tunney has second place. Gap between first and second is now up to 2.7 seconds as they have to watch out for the cars of Jeff Rich and Dwayne Lee. St. John now tries to put Scott Martin a lap down and does so with just a little difficulty. Gap between first and second place. On my stopwatch, 2.6 seconds. 8 laps left to go. St. John going into turn number 3. Sees Nelson and Turner bump each other. Goes to the inside. Takes advantage of that jostling battle for position. St. John out of turn number 4. Heavy traffic ahead. Has to watch out for Charles Coles. Turner wants to get back on the lead lap. St. John won't let him. 1.7 seconds between first and second places. Douthit and the number 16 of Loving almost collide. St. John watches cars all around the intersection. Manages to get back around Danny Turner. Some contact has pulled some fiberglass loose. No harm, no foul. St. John does not back off. 5 laps left to go. St. John crosses the stripe. Bruce Tunney in pursuit. 1.8 seconds back. St. John behind Nelson's number 56 out of turn number 2. Watching for the number 16 of Robbie Loving. Tunney running wheel to wheel with the number 75 of Scott Martin trying to catch up to St. John. St. John caught behind Foster's 41 and the number 56 of Nelson. Heavy traffic ahead of St. John. 4 laps left to go. Make that 5 laps left to go. Gap 1.3 seconds. St. John caught in heavy traffic. Tunney closest to within 1.1 seconds. Turn number 3 of the 46th lap. St. John has to try to go to the outside to put the number 56 of Nelson 1 lap down. Closing up on Dwayne Lee's car. Has to hesitate for a moment to keep from hitting Robbie Loving. St. John has the lead. 4 laps left to go. 9/10 of a second back to Bruce Tunney. Tunney has 3 cars to pass before he has a shot at St. John. Now St. John running in the clear. Tunney sees the number 4 Fenwick right on his tail as he finishes his 47th lap. And St. John comes down with 3 laps left to go. Still heavy traffic ahead, and my stopwatch shows the gap between first and second place, 1.8 seconds. Now Fenwick tries to come to the inside of Tunney. That's a race for second place. Fenwick hit the marker, and as Jeff Rich almost spins ahead of the leaders, St. John is again trying to catch out. St. John sees Kane and Rich in the number 72 car directly ahead. Comes across the stripe, 2 laps to go. Gap between first and second place, 1.5 seconds. St. John takes a hit from Kane coming out of the corner. Has to slow down for Robbie Loving. Here's the 41 of Tunney and the number 4 Fenwick in a 3-car fight for the victory as the white flag comes out this time. 1 lap left to go, and Robbie Loving is almost in play as they take the white flag. St. John almost bumps the back end of Jeff Rich through turns number 1 and 2, and Tunney is there as St. John is almost hit by the number 3 of Kane. Going into the 3rd turn, Tunney tries to make the move in traffic as Kane bumps St. John in turn number 3. St. John with heavy traffic ahead comes out of turn number 4. Tunney has 1 chance to make it go, but St. John beats Tunney by 1 length, and 3rd goes to Rich Fenwick in the number 4 car. And unofficially, it'll be 4th place